You'll get home and she'll be like, you what? You were talking about what?
I can make 8% a year. Why would I want to live on 70? That's not what it goes up each year. I can get that out of the bank. It's not like
48%.
about 16%. That's how it goes up. So I'm starving to death. So, you know, I needed it. I do it.
All right, we are live, guys.
Tables were even small. Big rolls.
Did you get a chance to check out the video?
I didn't. I'll get up there this week.
Yeah, they only spent $58,000, so. That
Oh,
helps.
light vehicles.
That helps.
Who knows the next one lady?
All rich, that was my command.
Check this.
I gotta follow you. I wouldn't do that very often. Okay. Once a month, you could get led astray. Hey. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good morning, everyone, again.
Good morning.
Oh, I got a pet here. So, you know, side letter, so it's got her.
A lot of those hanging around now.
Okay, is there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Contrary, motion carries. Okay, next is the approval of the minutes.
Thought the minutes read well. I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. Any further discussion?
There were a lot of numbers in there that were all correct.
Wow.
Nice. Big glasses.
Good job.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay, first we have a secondary road, Zach.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Couple things on the list today. First is we received the contract and bond back from Sessford Construction for our E46 paving job. This is a standard contract that that Carroll County has always used for local work, I'll say. Remind you, this is for $556,796.73 for that 3 miles of asphalt resurfacing from Halber to M68. Any questions, I guess?
Can you say the dollar amount again?
556,796.73.
Any other questions on contract and bond? If not, we need a motion to approve.
All the bond, everything good. That,
Mhm.
everything, all the paperwork.
It does look good. They provided their certificate of liability insurance as well as requested, so.
I make a motion that we approve the contract. Bond from Sessford Construction.
I will second that. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay,
2 copies.
saw inroads trucks go by this last week. Where are they at?
So they're sitting west of Vale is where they had a plant. And I think they're about done. They got done over by, they're the one doing, Highway 39 going north out of Denison. But
So they came through with just extra trucks, I'm sure.
probably, they've been hauling a lot of rock over for that project over the last month. But no, they're done. They're moving out of that plant site, so. Just some housekeeping stuff as far as kind of letting you know what we have going on. We are working on some bridge approaches on 300th Street north of Manning, on the AGP mile there, just east of AGP. This is something we were working on, going to get done last fall, but winter got up to us. Hired a contractor to do those. They have the East Bridge complete, and they'll be doing the West Bridge approaches, probably paving it tomorrow more than likely, and hopefully have it open before Friday, or by end of the day Friday. So they've been rough for a long time. So we got some of the concrete on that road patch last year, and it's kind of the last step in getting that road kind of put back in shape a little bit. We are getting we have gotten some quotes to do some asphalt patching throughout the county in places, just places to try to kind of keep things continue going until we do some more resurfacing on roads, some over Arcadia, some down by Halber, in Halber, some one down in Templeton where it's settling pretty good. We're going to try to get that one taken care of on that new road. And we're also looking into some concrete patching as well, down south of Coon Rapids, going into Guthrie County on 73. So
Oh, yeah, there's been some,
it's bad,
there's been some complaints about that.
I drove that here 2 weeks ago.
and it's going to be substantial. I mean, it may be only a mile, but it's
So that by Arcadia, that's right there by the tracks, pretty home.
there's some by the tracks, some by the co-op on then both sides of the road there. Possibly some on the underpass over east of town.
I haven't been through there.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
So just a few different places we're trying to touch up. So
They call that the forgotten mile down there, Rich.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that.
And I tell you, you can ask a lot of people and they think that's not, that isn't belongs to Guthrie. There's a lot of people.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't. But yeah, it's called forgotten.
It definitely does need it.
it's
If you look at that bridge approach from the east headed west, and the northbound lane, it's got this little. Is that something you're gonna look at too?
well,
Or is that a fill?
when's the last time you looked at that? Because we did fix that.
It's probably been maybe a year or better.
Okay, we fixed that.
Okay.
Yep, we tore that out ourselves with our own crew. We didn't know if there's other issues going on down underneath, so we wanted to look at the end of that. Couldn't find any settlement issues underneath, so we replaced that lane of that bridge approach. So it's much better than what it was. So
That bridge has been underwater several times, and I was kind of curious if there was undercurrent cuts and added.
yep. Nope, it looks decent. Other than that, that's really all I have today.
Okay. Any questions for Zach? Okay. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach.
Okay, next we have is the payables. Anybody have any questions on any of the payables? Not a real lot of here, is there?
Nice.
Yeah, Zach kept her really down there this time. 58,000. That's got to be almost a record.
We've
I
had one
think I
that
was
was under
gonna
10,
say, yeah, I remember one that was like 18 or something, but.
but I'll take 58.
I guess the only question that I have, and this is a general comment, it appears to me that we're getting and I see you use Visa and there's, credit card purchases, but you explain what yours is for. And so, but I see some that don't do that. And I think it'd be nice if there was a little bit better explanation behind those, I guess.
The really bad thing is there's only so much space to put a description in. So,
Do you hear anything from the auditors on using?
no,
credit cards?
they'll pull several credit cards every time they're here. Even the new auditors do, and they'll look, and they make sure that
They're
they
legit.
spot check them, yeah. And, they're up there, so, like, mine is for equipment. Well, the equipment was a heater, because we were freezing the funds off in the office, so, yeah, they could have put heater.
Courtney, is that a county Visa card?
So different departments have their own cards.
Yes, but it's not a personal. Okay.
Like, for example, mine says Carroll County Auditor, and then it says my name below it. So I allow Zach to use my card if he needs one. Not the staff, maintenance staff. But most of the bigger departments have their own card.
And that's fine, I just wanted to.
And we did
The
that.
points and kickbacks, I just want to make sure that,
The auditors like to see the use of the credit cards versus paying employees back, reimbursing them.
yes.
They like that better. There's more accountability there. You can see the treasurer has several checks to reimburse them for some meetings they went to, which is fine. But the auditors like it. when
We'll
you're
cut
using
more
the card.
cut, right?
Yeah. But I don't know, maybe she doesn't have a card.
I know some, even like counties that supervise have their own card. I'm not crazy about that myself.
Yeah.
Because I think there's one guy in particular I knew that used the wrong card in the wrong place.
I've done that myself. You grab the wrong one.
What you do.
Not me.
And
County.
it's happened here too, and it's very easy to explain, and what happens when we get the bill is that
Everybody made the
you
register.
just cut your own check and you pay it with your own money.
What is this, and you guys probably just have to refresh my memory, but this no before annual review, it's under the data processing,
That's to
CTI.
test you out.
Huh?
That's to test you out, see if you really know.
Oh, those little scam emails that send, okay.
They're being quiet.
What Ben did said.
That invoice we have for no before annual renewal, that's for those phishing things that they do to see how strong our network is. Is that, or how,
That's people.
so we're testing employees.
Testing me.
Yeah, me too.
If you don't click, you're not supposed to click.
That's right.
Yeah.
So now, any other questions? All right, if not, then we're in order for a motion to approve or deny.
I'll make a motion to approve the payables in the sum of $211,680.97.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary, motion carried. Next, we have plats. There is 2 plats there. So, any questions on these? I think they're pretty self-explanatory. They're just changes to matrices.
Make a motion, we approve the flats.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded, to approve the plats. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay, next is approve withdrawal number 2, CDBG housing program, Region 12. This is what, for $77,853.
We are, do we have more advertising for this too? With another round of that? Courtney, did he make mention that we'd have to publish that one more time? Because we're doing a second round.
Yeah, we'll handle that on June 1st.
Okay.
So if you guys agree to redo the program and do it again, then we have to have another public hearing.
So the actual out-of-pocket expenses for us is the advertisement. They had, I believe they,
And the public notice.
the public notice, I'm sorry. As I recall, there were 9 participants in the last group. And I think they have 3 that could qualify right now. And I think they would like to go ahead and do it one more time. And it's a good program, gets ownership and homes.
So are these throughout the county?
Yeah, it's.
I mean, it's countywide, but is it being used throughout the county?
I think most of the last one came from the city of Carroll. I believe there were 2 that were outside.
Okay.
Of Carroll. And I'm not sure where those other 3 are. I didn't ask that question.
So I just wonder if the cities are pushing, are pushing this and, I mean, if it is a successful program, I have no problem with it at all. But
It
let's get everybody to use it, if it's going to,
The original reason that we decided to do it, because I think there was interest like in Coon Rapids and maybe in Lanesboro, we could pool it together rather, because I think it takes a minimum of 5. So the city of Carroll probably may be easy to draw 5, but in some of the other communities, it might be a little tougher.
I think it's maybe a little bit lack of awareness of the program.
well, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
That's why I was wondering if it's been brought up to city councils that this program is available and they could push it a little bit. I mean, I'm not, it was kind of ho-hum to me at first, but if it's beneficial and successful, why not?
Well, and
I
a lot of
think
it might just
more-
be lack
more-
of houses. There's no houses for sale.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's probably why we ain't seen a lot of, there's not any houses for sale in the outlying areas. But I think a lot of this is pushed through the local banks, and I'm sure they're all aware of it.
Okay, well, that could be.
And I think it looks to me like there's probably a little money left in this program.
A little money left. And I know Mike is quite aware of it, and I'll double back with Chris, make sure that they're talking to the communities. But like I said, it's hard for some of the smaller ones to get, but if Carroll could do it, I'm not that it's a bad program, but they probably should be the lead on it, I would think. Benefits them.
And I'm pretty sure, I think, community I'm from, I'm pretty sure they're aware of it.
Okay.
And I think they.
And maybe
They've even got a program. of their own.
Maybe everyone knows about it too. I'm just making a general comment, I
Yeah,
guess.
they had a rehab program down there. So. Yeah, I'm kind of like you, I would like to see more on the outlying areas too. That's used throughout the whole county. Yep. But if the houses aren't there available right now, I was at a meeting the other day, and they said, remember this too, house showed up on the listing, and 6 months later, they had 6 showings.
It was in 12 minutes, they had
Oh, 6 minutes. No, I think it's 6 months.
27 viewings and 6 lined up showings.
Yeah.
It hit the wheelhouse so that everybody is looking for the price range, everybody. And with cheap money, that's going to continue for a while.
Okay, is there a motion then to approve the draw number 2, or is there some other questions?
If there are no others, I'd like to make a motion that we approve draw number 2 on this CDBG housing program.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried.
You need to sign this sheet just down at the bottom in blue.
In blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your little fancy pen.
That's the only one I got.
Just anywhere down there in the bottom?
Yeah, there's just, in a specific place. I've just got to scan it back to her. So.
Carroll.
Yes.
All right, next is request for proposals for due Friday. And I think they are here, right, Courtney?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna pass them out. Sorry, or
Yeah, and I was kind of busy with some of these further. I think what we need to do is pass these out. Everybody take them home, study them. And I think we'll meet back again and decide, I think, wean it down to a couple if possible. And then if we want to interview some, that's fine.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while to kind of.
Yeah.
Get through.
And I'm gonna visit with Chris on this too, to make sure I got the process down there.
I'm gonna have Bella.
is that what?
They all take the same picture,
Yeah.
sort of.
Well, I was surprised, I did get a lot of phone calls on this. So Courtney, how many was there altogether?
Let's wait and see.
I
I'm
thought you had that
counting.
all counted
Count
out.
as we go.
No, in fact, I just opened the box this morning, so.
I'm kind of going through the ones I remembered.
So where did these get mailed to, here or?
Yes.
Mailed or dropped off.
Yeah, we had one dropped off from Shive and then the other ones were, well, actually, there might have been another one that I just did.
Oh, boy.
Like, they must need business.
You know,
Could be competitive.
well.
But it's so vague, how do you know?
Yeah,
'Cause one
exactly.
could have a completely different idea.
You really can't look at the price or anything too much.
Yeah. Well, this ain't light reading for this week.
This is like reading for a month.
Sitting outside reading.
You may have to bring this up a couple weeks from now.
If I sit inside and try to read this, my eye will go shut.
Ben, you gonna do mine for me?
Sure. Yeah, you.
Not so far.
Looks like
That's the one I'll probably go on to.
So it looks like 8.
Good chance.
Yeah. So is there anything else we need to talk about this? I think, I'll let you guys look at these. I think Rich is probably right, we got a holiday weekend here. And maybe we better not figure on too much discussion next Tuesday, but we'll just put it on the agenda. See if we can set up a time to look these over and read it down.
Just so the deadline's down, I'm done paper, but there'll be 8 requests for purpose that were submitted.
Yeah, there was 8 RFPs received, yeah. Or I guess 8 proposals received.
I thought we'd get 3 or 4.
No, and I told you, I had quite a few calls, and there's actually, I think, there's a couple that probably haven't gotten. All right, yeah. Okay, next we have Manure Management Annual Updates. We have Wheatland Finisher Farm, Section 15, Wheatland Township, and that's a 4-year plan. So, next we have is committee reports. Anybody want to start? Or do you want me to start?
I can start. Count to make sure I get it correct. See, last week. Tuesday, CADC set in on that meeting. There were some reports given. There was one particular item that drew some interest for me, and it was a fingerprint business that's going on here in the community, and they're not going to do it anymore. And I'm going to visit with the sheriff and see if he has any interest. I asked the specific question. It's not the same as what he does. It's a different one altogether, and I don't know if he has to be certified. I think those are the questions we got to find out. But if it creates some foot traffic for his secretarial staff, that we can serve that need, because this is coming in. People from Spencer are coming down here to be, because there's no one else doing it.
It's basically regional, they do background checks for employment purposes.
So it's something that I'm going to discuss with, see if he's got any interest in. Because I hate to see, let's slip out of town, but I don't want to drag a bunch of people in.
Yeah,
and out of his
background
building.
checks, background checks is different than fingerprinting. I know a little bit,
Yeah,
I mean,
And they do the fingerprint, and so does the police department.
yeah.
Because I've had it happen in the last couple of years on the last, when my wife's been daycare.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Well, it's a different category, and I'm just gonna have Ken kind of check into it, see if he's got any interest in it. It's something that draws people to town. Maybe we'll consider keeping it, maybe, someone else will want to take it. That was of interest. We talked about the housing market, got a good feel from one of the local realtors, bankers weighed in on it. I think things are going pretty good, and I'll let Gene cover the rest of it. Then on Wednesday, Iowa Workforce in Holstein. We had several different pieces. The Workforce Board met first. They covered a lot of ground. We presented them with open meeting laws. We had a person provided with open meeting laws to make sure that they understand it. Because this is basically, once the supervisors has got the workforce up and running, we're just in an advisory board. The money goes right to them. They take care of it. And that board is made up of all demographics, union, non-union, women, men. There's 30-some people on that. It's hard to move, but that you can get some things done. So there were 3 regions before, basically 3 areas. Now we have 1. So it takes, we're getting the money, the ticket to work money has been brought from each region or area into one pool. Now it can be distributed as the new area. So it's just a matter of getting all the fine tuning done as this new area develops. We also had a there's a company in VT Industries from right there in Holstein. They come in and made a presentation on workforce challenges. Very interesting about employees and how they're paying them, how they're scheduling their work. They are on a 40-hour work week. We have 6 days to complete those 40 hours. They are paying better than most people. We're trying to find people. That's the name of the game now. It's trying to get the poor gal from that tries to take care of the time. She says that kind of creates a problem for her, but she says it's manageable. It's just have to really stay on it. They're not in a surprise. They query their employees all the time. Most of them are not interested in retirement packages. They're not interested in anything that comes out of their paycheck except for the taxes that they have to pay, which kind of surprised me. And she says, we have seminars on retirement. We try to promote it, but she says you can opt out, and they do.
They make countertops, don't they?
Doors.
Oh, doors.
Doors. And they've got the floor manager now is an old fella employee. Well, not an old fella employee. I wouldn't say he's probably in his mid-30s, but he worked for Fella for a while. Quite interesting company. But like I said, the workforce challenges, that really took me back, some of the stuff. I think times have changed, let's put it that way. The Cherokee County attorney made the ethics presentation. I thought that was very good for the board to understand about open meeting laws, make sure that that gets hammered in. And we'll probably, as vice chair, I told him, I said, I think we need to do this again in about 6 months when we catch more people there and get them offline. You know, that's the next trick.
We do the new opportunities that we need.
Nothing wrong with reminding people. I pick up stuff every time I hear that presentation. So that was on Wednesday. Thursday, at the jail meeting in the morning. That was not too bad. Looks like we're falling back a little bit on our timeline. Looks like maybe the end of July. Probably that's how that I got out of it. Couple weeks difference. Looks like we're being presented with a fire curtain change order. That's kind of a little concerning how it got slipped through or missed, but it happened. We've seen it on one set of plans and not on another, so that's kind of where it got kind of lost in the shuffle. So we'll solve that and move on. Other than that, we come over and did the tour, and it looks like we're making pretty good progress. There's a lot painted. Drop ceilings going in places. The sprinkler system's look like it's pretty well in good shape. So we're gaining on that project. That's it for last week. This coming week, have to go back to Holstein on Wednesday for the mental health, and I'm sure that that'll be quite the discussion of where we think the future is going to go. The brief discussion on the building that we were looking at purchasing. I think the general consensus is Don had explained to me that that's going to be back up on the table, and right now everybody's kind of keeping their hands back off of it for right now. And I think that's probably rightfully so, because there's going to be questions. If you do buy it and you use state money, does it become a state building? Is it our building? There are so many moving pieces to this that I think everybody needs to just step back so we get some answers.
What happens?
Well, with that funding, yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I don't think.
You don't want to own any assets if it's not going to be, my program's not going
Might
to
be
be
a bad horse for the region. That's on Wednesday, and then on Friday, I'll have a Zoom call on the statewide workforce development. That's a Zoom call. That's it.
I can go. Last week I didn't have any official meetings and I wasn't able to attend the jail meeting, but Jean and Rich both reached out and we discussed. I did bring up the fire curtains. I had a couple of questions. Did receive a couple phone calls in regards to gravel roads and spoke with Zach on those. And this upcoming week, I do not have any official meetings.
Last week I had a DCAT meeting Monday afternoon. This is a relatively short meeting. Thursday, jail meeting, which already covered all that stuff. This week on Tuesday, I have RSVP and I've got newspaper and radio.
Last week I had on Wednesday, I had a Region 5 hazmat meeting up in Fort Dodge, and there was also a Zoom meeting. The room was not filled by any means. I think there was only 3 of us board members there. The business that was discussed was a contract renewal with the hazmat team and the city of Fort Dodge, which has been going on now for almost 2 years. And it kind of refresh your memory, it goes back to the clause in the contract about workman's compensation and health insurance. And so, our county attorney and several other county attorneys said it should be stricken from the contract. Well, the city of Fort Dodge has a different view of that. They think that, that the regions should be paying into some of that workman's comp. And so we're fighting that. It sounds like there's one councilman, this is pretty funny. There's one councilman that's been resisting this up there. And so I asked on its that. As a side, I asked the fire chief, I said, what's going on with this? He said, well, he's an attorney up here who's a councilman. And, oh, by the way, his sister is also is on this board as a supervisor, Nikki Conrad. I said, well, that should be an easy fix, I would think. So it does sound like, according to the fire chief, that it's probably going to get concluded, and I think it's going to be in the favor. But the problem is that the longer this goes, that liability is there. And until it gets stricken off, all of a sudden we have something happen. Well, this is what the contract says. So
A lot of gray area.
yeah, so as soon as, the better, and that's the point that I made, was that we just need to get this done. Get it wrapped up, get it concluded, so that going forward, luckily in the last 25 years, we haven't had any issues, but it could happen. So the other, then there was our administrator up there, which, since I've been on that board, we've been able to really clean up that situation as far as that administrator and pay. And when I got on, there was we were paying somebody full-time wages. And then we were able to cut it to half. And I thought that was pretty generous, I think, because Scott Jacobs from Calhoun County and myself, we get daily task reports every Friday. So we know what she's doing, and sometimes it's not very much. And so, but I think that it's cleaned up. It's a lot better than it was. And it appears now that, according to the HR representative from the city, says that her job description is not, her duties do not match her job description. And they're going to start giving her more duties from the city as far as billing. It's not going to affect, you can see what's going on here, but it's not going to affect, it's not going to cost us any more money, but the city will be paying her more to do more duties. Now, the city said that their workload has gone down. So she's going to be doing the billing for the fire department now. So, which is giving her an increase in wages. So if we don't have to give her that increase, I guess that's fine. There was part of the packet was a wish list of equipment for 2021, and they have a budget of $19,000 for equipment, and there's $17,500 left. And so I said, well, if this is just a wish list, then let's not approve this. Well, it's not. We need some of this stuff. Then don't call it a wish list.
Exactly. Come with your reason why you need it.
Yeah. So what do you need on this list? And so it was that clarified, and we approved it. But good grief. we looked at while we were up there, they brought the other thing is that there's been an inquiry into the region from Audubon County to join. And so it sounds like they have a new EMA director down there. So once I found that out, I said, well, so this isn't a request coming from the supervisors. No, it's coming from the EMA. Well, then it might not turn into something. But, it could be beneficial to everybody if Audubon was brought in. And it's no further for Audubon, basically, they don't have anybody right now. They have no one.
They have themselves. Yeah.
And
They're not signed up for council bills.
they call council bluffs. They have a little bit of agreement, but it's paper thin. I mean, if council bluffs can't make it,
If you just wait.
find your own, and so there's no real agreement. I think population of Audubon County is 50, not even 5,500. And so, I said, well, anything is, if you don't use the service, anything is a help, right?
Because that would lower the per capita for everybody
Yeah,
else,
if you
right?
lower the cap rate for everyone.
They have just a little bit of interstate traffic.
What would be like
Are
a
they
big
on
threat there?
interstate?
No.
No.
But stops just short of it.
Wow.
A mile short of it, yeah. That wouldn't be an issue, just regular highway use.
I don't know if that's gonna turn into anything because
Railroad.
it would be okay, because it would reduce,
No railroad.
it would reduce ours.
No railroads to Interstate 80 miles.
It'd be a good asset.
Yeah, it would be okay. That's a long ways for them to travel, but, so there was just an inquiry there. Is there anything more with that? I don't think so. That was pretty much it for that, meeting. We did look at the hazmat truck. It's more like a fire truck. It's pretty big. And it's gonna be in Glidden on their parade day. Or, I don't know if it's the parade day or if it's their, on July 19th. So if anybody wants to see it, it'll be here in Carroll County, July 19th. Then on Thursday, we had a Board of Health meeting. Just board members that were present. And all I can say about that is the purpose of it was to review our public health department and whether or not we need to take steps going forward. And so we just reviewed things. There'll be more coming from that. I got a complaint from the Blacktop north of Breda, and part of the, it's about 50 feet long, probably maybe 75 feet long, where it's about 2 to 3 feet of the blacktop is just broken off. And so, your car will go like this for a while, for about 75 feet, and then it pops back up again.
Is it on one side? Or?
One side, yeah. It's just on the shoulder, just along the shoulder. It's just breaking off, and it's in, and it's, I have no idea what the purpose of that road is, that it's blacktop. It goes, you know anything about that, Gene?
I have no idea.
Well, it goes for 2 miles, and then that's Sac County.
And well, it's any different than one that goes there east of Glidden that goes north. That goes
Well,
up to
I think the thing about it is that at one time, I'm assuming that Carroll County thought that was going to be a blacktop road all the way to 175, which goes from.
But I think the other one was in there before that was.
You think so? I'm just guessing that then SAC says, no, we're gonna come down from the 4-way up there by,
West of Carter.
yeah, east of Carnivan. East of Carnivan, where the curve is, that road that goes down, so, and then they decided to, I have no idea. But anyway, it's there, and I mean, it's nice for those people that live out there, but
Yeah, I'm trying
that's
to figure out
about
where
it.
you're at. You're going north to that curve, right? That curve road?
This is
north.
This is
where-
north past the ballpark.
Oh, okay,
Between the
all right.
ballpark and the golf course.
So how far out of
I've
town
never
is
been up
though?
that road that far.
2 miles and then it goes to gravel?
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was. Somebody got something there. I'm not sure.
That's like the road out by Mallard View, it's paved and then.
For a mile.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But they paved the one just east of that. I don't know when that happened.
I think originally the plan on
Farmer
doing
was
this one, and they got
gonna take-
changed to it there again.
Farmer's truck.
To reroute around Carroll.
That was a good move, Noble Avenue. I mean, you were probably on the board at that time.
Yeah.
Because I think Paul had,
Really a lot of truck traffic.
yeah, that was a good move. But anyway, Zach said he was gonna look into that. I don't have anything going on this week as far as anything scheduled, but I'm sure that'll change. I'm sure we'll have something come up.
Light reading.
I like reading.
Well, this last week, was at CADC, and Rich covered most of that. The things he didn't cover, he covered all the easy stuff, but, Matt Miners gave a report on the retail coach update again. They did another thing that they, tracking of businesses, and the area they tracked would be starting on the west side of the block here to the west of here and going to the west side of the mall. And that block can be 5th Street to 3rd. And where the amazing thing is where all these customers come from. It's all over. It's a big area of the state of Iowa. The other thing we talked about was Highway 30 Coalition a little bit, and that was basically about it. Some of the projects that they were done. Also, I had the jail meeting, and that's been pretty well covered. I think, yeah, we're moving along on that pretty good. Then Friday, I had the S Center board meeting. We had a discussion about the possibility of being there 2080 agreement. They're not able to get any of this American Care or American Recovery funds for COVID. They, as a 2080 agreement, they may come back to each one of our locations or entities, and it'll be about $5,000 that they get asked from each 14 counties. And instead of just going out and getting a contribution, we use these monies instead. And they will present us with a list of what those are for and what they're wanting. It's going to be roughly about 5,000. So I'm just kind of prepping you guys for that. And it makes kind of sense because they can't give it. One thing, we did approve the 21-22 budget. Not a lot of big changes in there. Trying to predict where we're going to be at with counts on kids and stuff. The average 6.76 this last month. They had one client that was from west of here that they did have, guy moved out and went to another facility through our competitor. And evidently this young lad is a lot of my big problems. So cars are doing good, so that's that. This week I have I will have 2 meetings by Zoom because I am going to be out of the county the rest of this week. And I will have a policy council meeting on Tuesday night and a new opportunity board meeting on Thursday. I'll be doing by Zoom on my location. So, anything else? Courtney, do you have anything? You're leading the whole life. You got nothing to report. Okay.
I'll try harder next week.
What do we have for next week?
So it was my understanding that Region 12 was gonna either be here or whatever on redoing that block grant. And then if we talk about the proposals we got for the courthouse, that's it so far.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is all we'll discuss next week is when we want to get together. And that, I think, doesn't have to be, just we get together and hash out and cut down to who we want to, if we want to interview anybody or how we want to proceed.
My bad, I guess I do have something. So a lot of counties are getting assigning a group, or if you want to call it a board, it's not really a board, it'd be more like a discussion group or to deal with the money that we're going to be getting. From government. So usually it's a couple supervisors and a couple other people, like some other department heads or something like that. And obviously we don't do it now, but
Well,
I thought that was interesting.
But Nate was saying we should do something like that. And I think it varies from county to county. Some are just having supervisors do it. Some are doing supervisors in certain department heads.
Mhm.
Maybe that's something you guys want to think about. Do you want to involve?
Do you have time to put some time and effort into this? I think our auditor would be very important for us to have.
Yeah, that's fine.
She's going to be the one that's doing the reporting. Probably.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I kind of assumed I'd be at the meetings anyway, so.
Well, the biggest thing that needs to be determined is what the parameters are. You know, I mean, and after that, it probably gets fairly simple,
Well,
you know.
This one, I did forget, I did send out the NACO membership call. And there's evidently, they have a quick sheet that's supposed to cover that, and I haven't found it yet on their website. If I get that, I'll print it off. If you know, I give you guys that stuff to look at. Follow that a little bit, I know it's kind of vague, but.
More reading.
More reading. There's a lot of things that money can be spent, but again, I'll remind you, we have to make a commitment by the December of 2024. We actually don't have to have it spent until December of 26. So we got time. But there is counties going in and applying for their first money. And they're getting that first check, usually pretty quick, but they're finding some are still having trouble with guns and that sand. You know, and you're pretty sure we have it.
I know.
Well, and maybe if whenever we want to do this, we can apply for that right now. We don't have to tell them what we're going to do with it. They'll give us that money and we put it away. We'll be put in a special fund, and then we can do it as we need to spend the money on. And if we do hire someone to do some of this stuff work like these people, I think that should be funded through that. But I think also the other thing is having a group who is going to be looking in this. And I think this is one that I would like to see. Personally, I want to see the supervisors, board me, and probably some other departments. I don't know that if the sheriff's going to be over in the other building, I don't know if he needs to be involved in now.
I would think so. I think a couple of department heads from that second floor and judicial, just kind of, we keep them informed. I think they kind of run their own ship as long as we kind of advise them if there's any delays or closings or whatever.
And I don't think, as I told, actually, there was one of these firms, I spent a lot of time with that one day. We walked through this whole building. And we were in places that I know most of the new board members have never been. And I might be the only one that's ever been up, that's up in the penthouse. I don't know if you've ever been up in there?
I have.
You have.
It's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot.
But I mean, they were up there, I mean, they went, and I told them the one thing about the upper floor, the only thing we'd be doing up there would be the HABC. The rest, I think it's done.
Well, you know, let me ask you this, Jane, and I don't know what the parameters, I haven't read anything, but, so like, you know, can, say this would determine that, well, you know, there's probably not, you know, I'm just saying something, you know, we have a concentration of people in one office who, because of COVID, can't socially distance in that office. So can we take dollars and through this, be able to expand building wise and make the building bigger somewhere just follow me now, just follow me now.
I'm following
But I mean, if we're getting the dollars that you're talking about, you could probably do a little bit of that, and you could spread people out. So maybe a little bit of a reach, but I wonder if that's not something
And I'm gonna
that could be
answer-
considered. And if it's no, then it's no.
I think I can kind of answer part of it. I think that anytime you try to pull it, and if it's to move people and that you're trying to mitigate the
Right.
possibility of the future again, you're fine. Let's say like our boardroom, because we're trying to social distance and spread out instead of sitting right next to each other. Yes. The HABC in this building is a yes. That was, question was asked.
Mhm.
Anytime you're changing airflow to improve it, is a yes. New structure, the question was, if you use it for new jail, no. You can use it for updating your current one, but I think for the new facilities, that's gonna be, now, I'm gonna back up. If you can prove loss of revenue, those funds that you can prove loss of revenue, those funds are basically, you can use it for any operational thing whatsoever. Those are loose, but I don't think we can prove that much loss of revenue.
I don't know what kind of revenue do we have?
Well,
Tax.
property tax, sales tax went up, our sales tax went up.
Their local option sales tax.
Yeah.
And.
So, I mean, that's,
That, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But I think you could make the argument that if you were gonna take the treasurer's office, for example, and move them into either another office or something, you maybe. you could
Oh, yes.
make-
That might even fit the old $400,000 that we're still sitting. That might fit that category.
Well, that's not really tied to anything right now. Anyway, is it, Courtney?
It's not, it's a reserve.
So that's.
So, well, I mean, you can use that anywhere you want to, but I mean, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
But that's not a big enough money to,
that'd be a
No,
good
no,
question.
not-
to be a start.
Right, but to maybe flip-flop offices where we have to recarpet.
Right. But don't you think that these new recovery dollars will pay for a lot of this stuff?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I don't know
that's
that,
where
I
I'm
don't know
hoping
that it will
we
be
fit.
If you're talking actually new
Addition,
new
yeah.
addition, I don't know that it will do that.
Okay.
But,
I mean, because the question about doing it for a new jail came up, and that was.
Well, jail's a little bit different, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, see, they're using it
I-
because they're sitting and they want to get them spaced out on a COVID.
it's a, yeah.
Yeah.
Corner deal, but, and that's why I say I would like to have a stamp of approval on that.
These are employees that are concentrated.
Yeah,
Right.
Probably not
I
a
don't
new
know.
parking lot. then.
Huh?
Probably not a new parking lot then.
can't social distance their cars.
No.
Resurface the
that,
parking
you know
lot
what?
because it'd be safer if we
According to
resurface
another way you
it.
look at it, if we use
I
these
agree.
monies to
I
do what we
agree.
want in here, then we can use other monies to do that.
But-
I think that we would be.
If there's
Yeah.
a infrastructure that can fit that category, that comes along. If it does.
Yeah,
But that's.
Someone fell and broke their ankle and we had lots
but
of.
there's a
revenue.
lot of
Yeah,
these-
lots of revenue there.
a lot of these dollars, Dean, are to that you can go out and do grants to different things. And I don't want to pick winners and losers. I think what I would like to see us do is use these dollars where it's going to benefit the whole county, not certain businesses. Or the other thing, you go out and you pay bonuses to people that were working with COVID. Well, how do you do that? You're going to have those people and they think that's going to be their salary from then on. You can't sustain it. I mean, there's some of the stuff, I don't want to, I think
Yeah.
you're going down a path where you're putting a rope around your neck that's going to get tight some point.
I think what we've been talking about are all pretty good things to be quite honest.
Well, I think they are too, and I think.
this
they're all on
HABC
board.
I mean,
as far as I'm concerned.
it's 50 years old. If we ever had an opportunity to replace it, right now is a good time to do it. And
I know
think
somebody,
that's
I know somebody else who agreed to that.
that will agree to that,
Huh?
that will agree to that.
Oh, well, yeah, that from up by Carroll County or Breda area that agreed with that the boiler needed to be replaced.
It's time.
Somebody that used to work in there.
Yeah, I think so.
You probably worked in the auditor's office too. In the winter, you
But it
are.
was hot.
But Dean, I think, yeah, and to your question, a lot of this is still coming out. And I think now that the legislature is done, the ISAC people are gonna start getting more on this.
They can start focusing in on
that.
helping us with make decisions, so we don't
I
get
do
ourselves
think-
trapped.
I do think maybe we ought to look into applying for the first round of money. Because you can, for sure, draw interest on it, which they got amounts of small.
We
So
don't
what-
interest in these funds.
So what kind of working dollars?
That we are allowed to get?
Yeah, well, this first round. What do you?
Well, the total dollars is 3.19.
Yeah, I know.
3.9.
We would get half of it.
Oh,
I think it's
You
3.9.
Or yeah, I think you're right.
3.9.
3.9.
Yeah, it's,
Well,
So
I've never gotten any instructions on how to even apply for it.
okay. Well, and maybe this audit group will kind of,
Well,
come up with some of those.
I think, I hate to say this, but I know you got so much. I thought we could spice your life up. Start watching Maple.
Well, like I said, I've never gotten any direction on how to apply. I know some counties have gotten money because there was a big question about where they're putting it. So I know where we can put it, but, nobody went into detail about how they applied for it.
But yeah, the thing is, you can apply for it and do a lot of stuff that you need it.
well, yeah. I
And
guess
once you
that-
apply for it, if you apply for it today, you get the second half a year today. The second half. So whatever day you get it, 1 year later, you'll get the second half.
So, I mean, it's really pretty, that's really all pretty bizarre, to be quite honest with you, but, when you talk about that $3.9 million, and you get half of it now, and you get half of it in
A year.
a year, and then, when did you say how far this goes out?
You have to make a commitment on the funds for in 24, end of 24, but you do not have to spend it until 26. So what they're doing is they're allowing you to do, set up
Well, I mean,
plans.
you can have that cash sitting around
Yeah.
for 5 years.
Collecting interest.
So even if you did spend $1 million on an addition, just saying, well, they're not gonna say anything that it's bad, it's wrong until what, 26?
Oh, no, you're gonna have to file reports in between what you're doing. So, it ain't that quite.
What are you saying, 8 years?
I know where you're
Oh,
going
my
right
God.
now.
Well, I mean, you could use that money until 26 and then, well, okay, well, then we'll just pay it off.
I tell you what,
You know what
I
I mean?
encourage any of you guys, if Naples got these membership calls and some are, the one Thursday was a lot of repeat of what I had, but they're constantly changing the rules, they're finalizing the rules. And if they've got what they call the intimate final rules published this last week, which they say will be the final rule. So now I want to try to get a copy of that. And they even, I don't even get a doc paper here, but they just say what page should you read. Instead of reading the whole document.
If Courtney starts reading that, she might be falling asleep back there.
Time she gets this memorized and that, she will.
Okay, so anyway, a lot of that, I think we're right. Sometime we need to sit down. Guys, think about who you want on this committee. And I think it should all the board myself.
I do too. It's fine. Yeah, I think some counties were using too, so they weren't having to post agendas and things like that.
Yeah.
I'd rather have all five.
I can see that, but, I don't know that we're gonna talk anything that's.
And it may be just something we do during board meetings.
Okay, anything else? If not.
So
Move to orders. Adjournment. And it's been moved and seconded for adjournment. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried.